Okay, now we're going to do an overview of the side of our bus. There are no dents or dings in the side of the bus. I want to look at all my windows, make sure they look like they're in good working order, they're not cracked. All the emergency exits are clearly marked with their yellow emergency stickers. My reflective tape, red around the windows, yellow on the rest of the bus, is secured and not peeling. My clearance lights, I have red towards the rear and 2 amber towards the front. Reflectors the same way. The red lenses are toward the rear and amber towards the front. They are secured. They're not cracked, missing, or broken, and fairly clean. Okay, that's got all that. And then we're going to walk up and get a hold of the things that are on this side. Okay, my door opens good. I have a battery tray that is secured. It has 3 12-volt batteries secured to the tray, and the cables are tight and no excessive corrosion on them. Pins are in the tray holding it in. And my door closes good and latches. Okay. My stop sign lettering is readable. I have 4 red lenses on it, front and back. They are secured, not cracked or missing, fairly clean. We have wiring. It's secured and there are no bare or fray wires. The cable is secured with a pin and it's not frayed. The air boot is secured and has no bubbles, holes, or leaks in it. The whole assembly is bolted securely to the bus. And the tension's good on the side. Then we'll go to the door. My emergency exit door has a pop-out window in it. Has no cracks, it's fairly clean. The seal around it has no bubbles in it, indicating it's loose. The latch at the top catches and holds, and it's bolted securely to the bus. The beaded seal on the inside of the window has no chunks or cuts in it, holds the window in good. And my sticker is marking it on the inside of the window as well. The seal around the door is not hanging loose or doesn't have any chunks or cuts in it. All the bolts are in the hinges. And the aisleway is clear. Then we're going to squat down and look underneath the bus. So this might be where it's a little bit hard to get. All right, we want to check the frame. Make sure the frame is bolted securely to the bus and doesn't have any breaks or bends in it. The drive shaft is straight and it has its hangers bolted securely in place. The exhaust pipe is secured with hangers and it has no holes, rust, or leaks in it. And the cross members or cross braces are bolted securely to the bus and they're not cracked or bent. Okay. And then we're going to go under the back tire and do the things that you cannot see back here. Okay, now we're going to do the torsion suspension. That's what it's called back here at the rear of the bus. Under the torsion suspension, you can't see a whole lot back here. You can see the mount, so you're going to make sure that the mounts are bolted securely to the frame and not cracked. You can see the end of the leaf spring there, so you want to make sure the leaf springs are not shifted or broken. The U-bolts will be in the center there, bolting the leaf springs securely to the axle. And then you want to make sure that your shock is fully extended with no leaks and it's bolted securely to the bus. And that's not something that you can see back here either. So leaf springs, U-bolts, mounts, and shocks. And you can add the airbags here if you would like, or the air ride. You can just see the back part of it. And it's secured, fully inflated with no leaks. Okay, then we're going to do the brakes. You just have to memorize what you're going to say because you can't see it back here. But picture it in your mind from underneath the front. You have your air lines. Make sure that they are secured. They have no bubbles, holes, or leaks in them. Then you have the brake, goes into the brake chamber, secured with no dents or leaks in it. Then the little dust cap right down below it, you want to make sure it's secure and has no cracks or dry rot on it. Then your calipers, which you can just see at the top in here. You want to make sure that they are secured and they don't have any cracks. And then your rotors, it's hard to see back here because you have dual tires. Your rotor, you want to make sure that it doesn't have any hot spots, discolorations, warps, anything like that in it. And then if you could check your brake pads, you would not want them worn less than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, these are, we're going to go to the tires. We have dual tires back here. There should be a 2-inch space between them with nothing caught in it. Okay, you've got double valve stems secured to the rims. Caps are on tight, no leaks in them. The bud rim has no illegal welds or bends or breaks in it. 10 lug nuts that are all tight, no rust indicating that they're loose. The axle hub bolted securely with bolts, all tight, and it has no leaks. There's not a window back here that you can check. You just look for the leaks. Okay, then go to the dual tires, condition depth inflation. You want to check both the walls on each tire for gouges, cuts, or bruises. Your depth on the back is at least 2 30-seconds. Your inflation, same as the front, at least 100 pounds of pressure in both tires that you would check with the tire gauge. On the rear duals, you cannot have mismatches, but you can have a recap tire on the rear. You have a mud flap. You want it secured, no rips or hanging loose. Okay, then we'll go to the rear. Now on the back, I would check my posture just like I did in the front, my pathway, just like I did in the front. We are going to check for the reflective tape. Make sure that it's not peeling and that it's secured to the bus and that all your stickers are on there and readable. You want to check your lights, 3 red clearance lights, 2 big yellows, 2 big reds, 2 hazard/turn signals, 4 red brake lights, 4 clear backup lights, 2 red reflectors, and then your plate light and your number light. Make sure they're secured, not missing or broken, and fairly clean. Okay. Then the next thing I usually do are the windows. All the back windows are pop-outs. You want to look at the seal around and make sure there's no bubbles indicating that they're loose, that they're fairly clean and don't have any cracks in them. The emergency door is clearly marked inside and out. Okay. I'm going to walk up here and check the plate, make sure it's secure and readable. Open my door. Make sure that the latch catches at the top and it's secured. You want to check the seals on the inside of your windows. Make sure that they're not cracked or have chunks out of them. You want to check the seal around the door to make sure that it is secured and it's not hanging loose and had any chunks out of it. Check your aisleway right here. You can look right down it and make sure that it's clear. Okay. Make sure all the bolts are in the hinges. Okay, then your release works and the door closes. If you notice, the backup lights come on when the door is open. This is where we'll check those, and they're all working and all the lights are working out. And then they go off when you close the door. Alright, then we have to go underneath again. They make us check this back here again. So your frame is secured to the bus. It has no bends or breaks in it. The exhaust is strapped up and secured to the bus, and it has no holes, rust, or leaks in it. Then you have your fuel tank here. It is secured to the bus, and I don't see any rust, holes, or leaks in it. It's also secured to the cage. The cage is secured to the bus, and it's no bends or breaks in it. And you can see that all the nuts are on the straps that secure the tank to the cage. Then you also have cross braces back here, or cross members, that are secured to the bus, and they have no breaks or bends in them. Your airbags You can see those back here just hanging down a little bit behind the tank. They're secured, fully inflated with no leaks. Now you can do those back here, or you can throw them in with the suspension when you do the rear duty. And that's it for under the bus. Okay, now on this side of the bus, I would check the same as I did the other side, and then I'm going to hit the things that are not on the other side. So the fuel door, it opens good. Cap is on tight for the fuel tank, and there's no leaks. The door is secured and it closes and latches good. Our 3 triangle reflectors are in this cargo bin here. Okay, the shock holds the door up good, is secured to the bin. The seal around the door is secure and not hanging loose, no chunks out of it. 3 triangle reflectors secured in their red box in this bin. And then I have a set of chocks back here in case they're needed. Door closes and locks. You won't do another tire, you just do one front and one rear. Okay, cargo bins. Double shocks, they're holding the door up good and are secured to the door. The seals around the door are tight, no chunks out of them, and the bin's fairly clean, doesn't have any holes or dents in it, it's not wet. Closes and locks. There we go, turn it all the way. Then all your bolts are in your hinges. And I would check these other 2 cargo holes the same way. Then we're going to come up here to the door. I've got an entry light and a step light here. I want to check, make sure they're both secured, that their lenses are on there fairly clean, not cracked or missing. Your door moves freely. Your weather stripping on the door is secured and has no chunks or cuts in it. The rubber seals on the inside and outside of the pop-out windows on the entry door are secured, and they don't have any cuts or chunks out of them. And we're just going to work our way right onto the bus. Your grip covering on the steps is secured with screws. There's no tripping hazard. The step, you want to make sure that it's solid because it could be rotted out underneath there, so the steps are solid. The handrail is secured with bolts. It's not bent or loose. The fire extinguisher, you want to make sure it's bolted securely to the floor, that your tag is up to date, and that the needle is in the green so that you have pressure. And I always tell everybody make sure the pin's in it. We'll just leave that there. The next thing that you would check are your safety equipment. Up here we have your first aid kit. You want to make sure it's fully stocked and has the spare fuses in it, and it is secured in its bin. Body fluid kit, secured in the bin, fully stocked. And then you've got wires up here, so you want to check them, make sure that they're secure and that there are no frayed or bare wires there. Okay. And my other piece of emergency equipment is my seatbelt cutter, which they have secured over here within the driver's reach.